The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good morning, welcome to the Game Week 5 deadline stream. I hope you are doing well. Hopefully no stress from me this morning because I've already made my transfer. I have done Sterling to Son. I'm still captaining Han, and I will take no further questions about how knee-jerk that move is. Thank you very much. Moving on, let's get on to the other questions of the day, which I'm sure there'll be none about Son, so we can just move past that quite quickly. Would I ever do FIFA videos? I don't know about that. Maybe streams. We'll see. I've said that before and then always failed. Is Reece James back? He's most definitely not back. In fact, he's out. So if you've got gusto, happy days. When will he be back? Well, Pochettino said that he hopes he'll be back before the next international break. So it could be another 2, 3, 4 games. Who knows? My guess now would be that he's probably not back until after the next international break. That would be classic Reece James, really. But let's see what happens. We'll take it on a week-by-week basis, see what Pochettino says. He's going to get asked about him quite a lot. Sterling hat-trick incoming. Yeah, quite possibly. Sterling's a great pick. I mean, my season so far is basically sticking with Man United attackers and transferring out players that don't need to be transferred out. So it's just another one this week. If I only had one transfer, I probably wouldn't make the move. If I had an injury somewhere, I probably wouldn't make the move. But the team's looking pretty good. I want to hold on to Rashford and Fernandes. I think they're being underestimated a little bit. But I could be massively wrong on that. Thoughts on Isak? I think he'll start most games. My thoughts are that he's not guaranteed to start every game, and therefore I just wouldn't buy him. Like, Wilson is just too much of a threat, either off the bench. At some point, Wilson's going to start. Right, next 5 games, is Isak going to start every single one? I would say probably not. So I just don't see the point in going there. Like, he's not that good that he's worth that risk, in my opinion. Like, is most games good enough? Because I know we can sit here and say that these days teams have got big squads. There's Champions League, there's Europa League, etc. There's always going to be rotation, but actually that's not true, is it? There's lots of players we know are absolutely nailed on to start every single game when they're fit and available. So, yeah, not for me. Then again, I'm sat here with Jackson, so what do I know, really? What do I know? Is Gabriel safe to play? I mean, given what's happened this season, I'm not sure I would completely be confident in predicting a Gabriel start, but I do think he'll start. I think Zinchenko's back now. I think you go back, and Partey's injured as well. So Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White back 4, like last year. Happy days. I think Arsenal will actually get better probably going forward, but we'll see. Davern, member for 26 months. Thank you very much. Is Son transferred in? Yes, it's right on screen. Son is in. Gabriel or SGP now? I'd probably play Gabriel. I guess there is some risk he doesn't start, but it's easy to say you're confident when you don't have to make the move, but I think he will play. I think he will start. Davies family first. Bulldog to Trippier and Roll, or Bulldog to Share and Foden to Son. Probably just Bulldog to Share and... No, sorry, just Bulldog. Well, you could do Bulldog to Share and Roll if you want to keep that money open for future moves. I mean, I guess you have to decide whether you want to lock yourself out of making that move in the next few weeks, right? I mean, realistically, if you don't buy Son this week, you're probably not buying him until game week 8, which is fine, by the way. Not a bad decision whatsoever. So yeah, in that case, if you're happy to lock the money, I'd go Trippier. Everton 2-0 win incoming. I wouldn't mind that as long as Turner doesn't play. I mean, Turner's wife has just given birth to a baby. I don't know why that sounded so weird to say. I almost feel like I'd messed up that sentence, giving birth to a baby. No, that makes sense. So maybe he won't play, but we don't know. We don't know. I'm going to play him and hope for the best. Loz, how's it going? Overall rank 20k. Geez, you're smashing it already. You don't need to ask me questions. One free transfer. Thoughts on João Pedro to Højlund? Now, I want other people to get Højlund so they can live my differential dream that I'm too scared to go for right now. Not too scared, but I don't want to use a second transfer on Jackson to Højlund. So I kind of like it, but João Pedro will probably start this week. Salah armband and Morris or Estepinian first bench. I'd go Morris. I think. What else would you give birth to? Who knows? There's aliens now, so you just don't know, do you? It's not about what she gave birth to. It's just the words before it just didn't sound right when I said it. But yeah, whatever. I'm tired. Alright, I've been ill all week. You can probably hear it in my voice still. 2 free transfers and don't know how to use one. Here are the options: Saka or Bruno or Foden to Son. I don't mind Foden to Son, to be honest. Baldock not for this week, but for subsequent ones. Saliba 2 for this week. I mean, Newcastle, if you don't want to transfer out, I wouldn't get rid of Saka or Bruno for Son, to be honest. Foden to Son, I can kind of get on board with that. Otherwise, you just get a Newcastle defender, and I think. I mean, Johnson to Flecken, probably a good long-term move. But if you're playing Turner this week, you probably don't need to make it this week, so maybe a Newcastle defender. Rasmus Højlund. I just hope. I don't know. I always get excited about new players, I guess, before you've seen them play properly. I'm really hoping he helps Fernandes and Rashford. I think Man United are definitely not in an ideal place right now, and they are missing a few key players. But I think it's being maybe exaggerated a little bit about how bad the situation is for the first 11, anyway. Exactly. There is aliens now, and they also happen to look just like ET. What were the chances? What to do with Watkins? I mean, he's got a pretty good fixture this week, right? Crystal Palace at home, is it? Yeah. I mean, you can hold on to him. You can sell him. I mean, Watkins is not going to be it's not really a problem, but he is a worse option than last year, right? He's not getting as many minutes at the moment. That probably isn't going to get better with European games. He's not on penalties. I mean, but he's not. I wouldn't be looking at Watkins in my team. I've got to sell him. So I'd probably hold in most situations. Unless you got to remember everyone's team is a little bit different, and not just who they've got, but also how many transfers and stuff they've got. Like I said earlier, I probably wouldn't have done Sterling to Son if I didn't have a spare transfer, and my defence wasn't also looking good, and my attackers are also good. My forwards are also good as well. I'm just in a fortunate position where I've been able to make stupid moves the last few weeks. So everyone's going to be slightly different. Foden to Son or Roll have Maddison. Would I use my one free transfer to get Son? I mean, no, there's a discussion around captaincy, I guess. If you're convinced that Son is a better captain than Haaland, you really want to captain him, then that could justify your transfer, even if you've only got one. I don't necessarily buy into if you buy Son, you've got to captain him. Son is either better than the midfielder you're taking out, or he's not. I mean, with Sterling, it's definitely close. I'm taking a gamble that Son will continue to play number 9 for the next 3 matches and be on penalties. If he moves back to the left and doesn't look as good, or Maddison's on penalties, this is a bad move. So there's definitely risks with it, but I'm kind of okay with taking that risk, I guess. But yeah, Foden to Son, I think it's okay. The thing is, my issue with Foden is always minutes, but right now I think his minutes are looking pretty good. So it's harder to justify taking him out, maybe. But the thing is, if you keep Foden, you're definitely keeping him for next week because he's got Forest at home. But again, no issues with that whatsoever. Thoughts on Matoma to Diaby? Who have Villa got next week? They've got a bit... Oh, it's Chelsea away, isn't it? Yeah, Chelsea away. I think I would keep Mitoma. I think Brighton are definitely scoring against Man United. And then it's Bournemouth at home. So I think I would keep him. I think I would have that Mitoma to Diaby move in mind for like game week 8, maybe, something like that. When the fixtures turn for Aston Villa. I mean, like, if you've got 2 free transfers and nothing else to do and you're planning for the future, then yeah, maybe it's okay move right now. But I probably wouldn't spend one free transfer on it. I don't think. Spazoje, I'm a 10 months member. I bet I've said that name 10 different times, and I've probably butchered it every time. Spazoje, I don't want to make it worse, so I apologise. Rashford, Martinelli, or Jota to Son, or stick to my midfield one more week and decide next week. The thing is, you're not going to want to transfer any of those midfielders to Son next week. Like, even if he scores a brace against Sheffield United, you can maybe talk yourself into it, but bringing him in before Arsenal away is not going to be such a good move. You've missed Sheffield United at home then. So, out of those 3 midfielders, I think Jota is the worst for minutes. So he is the one that I would sell. The only thing I would say about that is we didn't get... I'm just checking now, I don't think we've had any more news. We didn't get an update about Nunez from Klopp. He said he'd only just come back, and so he hasn't seen him yet in his press conference. And obviously, I think he said he hadn't seen any of the players that had travelled long distance. So the problem with Jota is, I think long term his minutes are a problem, but I do think he'll start this week, or there's a very good chance he starts. But I think Jota to Son is a pretty good long term move. Again, like with all the same risks I've already talked about, right? Son could move back to the left and be awful. He could not be on penalties. Suddenly you've got a 9.1 million player you don't really want. But I think Jota to Son, to me, seems pretty good. How's the dog? Any pre-deadline walks? Just took around the block. Didn't go too far this morning. Mostly because I got up out of bed a little bit later. And like I said, I've been ill a bit. All I see there is because he's a Man United fan. So I guess there's a question about why I've kept Fernandes and Rashford. Yeah, I can't be bothered. I won't even acknowledge that any further. Any news on Rashford's position? There's not going to be any news, to be honest. Very unlikely. Well, I guess we could get early team news. I'd be worried if we saw that Garnacho and Rashford are starting, for example. I'm hoping Pellistri starts. One thing I forgot, which I saw FPL Fraser talk about on Twitter yesterday, is McTominay still there, right? So it could actually be Casemiro, McTominay, Eriksen, then Fernandes on the right. I think Rashford will play on the left. If we get any news that he's not, then I'm going to regret getting rid of Sterling, I think. I mean, Rashford can score from the right, of course, but I don't think he's as good there. Rank them in order to bring in Cash, Brentford, defender, Share. I mean, definitely Share. Probably Cash after that. I'm half tempted by Cash soonish, but I want to see Moreno back first and see how Emery sets up with them. Keep Gusto on wildcard or stash a Luton defender for double game week 7. I'd probably go for the Luton defender. Like, Gusto's a tricky one because you just don't know with Reece James. Well, I mean, you could say you do know. When is he going to be back or not? But the thing is with Chelsea, they've got 4 good fixtures left, and then they get pretty bad. And so I think I would rather just have the double game week defender. Especially if you're not really planning on playing Gusto much over the next 4, then I definitely would go for the double game weeker. Jota replacement of Maddison, but no Diaby or Mbeumo. Mbeumo's good. Depends how much money you've got, right? If you've got enough to go to Son, you could go to Son. Otherwise, I still prefer Mbeumo over Diaby. Like, Newcastle away is not great, but then Everton at home, Forest away, Man United away, Burnley at home, still pretty good. Am I doing Trippier for Saliba? The answer is in the ticker. The answer is in the ticker. Can you please explain why Mbeumo over Sterling? I mean, Mbeumo's been the man since game week 1. I can't get rid of him. Like, he's absolutely nailed on. I mean, so Sterling. I mean, Mbeumo and Sterling in terms of nailed onness and minutes are the same, I would say, or similar. But Mbeumo's definitely on penalties, whereas Sterling might not be. So that's it, really. And also, by the way, I didn't have enough money to do Mbeumo to Son. I would have had to make a second move, which I could have done. I could have done Saliba to Botman, but it didn't feel worth it. And Mbeumo's been a bit of a legend. And also, I feel like there's a chance I just keep hold of him long term. Like, the fixtures get worse after game week 9. Like, you know, Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Arsenal. The chance of me holding him through these games, especially if I wildcard, is very low. But I will want him back for this point. I guess the fact he blanks is not ideal, but all before and after are really good fixtures. So maybe another case to wildcard late, to be honest. Haaland and Mbeumo, you dead end them into game week 18, then wildcard them all back in. Possibly. Should I wildcard? Have a nice Pickford, Gabriel, Cash, SPN, Chile, Odegaard, Saka, Matoma, Bruno, Rashford, Whistle. 2 free transfers. I don't think you need to wildcard. Like Pickford, Turner and Pickford's fine, right? Don't let people tell you otherwise. It's okay for now. Gabriel and Cash are fine this week. So's Chilwell. So you've got 3 defenders. Odegaard, I mean, Saka's fine. Bruno and Rashford are fine. So Matoma and Odegaard, you could use 2 free transfers on them if you wanted to. Wissa, same thing, right? So I don't think you need a wild card. Most people are not going to need a wild card for a long time. You're not going to have that many issues. I think I would just hold on for now. Jandra, member for 5 months. Start SGP now or Botman. I would probably start Botman. Please talk me out of Captain and Salah. I don't want to talk you out of Captain and Salah. Go for it if you want to. Go for it. I mean, arguably, out of Salah, Son, and Haaland, Haaland's got the hardest fixture. So, you know, maybe this is not the week to do it. Maybe this will change over the next 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 36 seconds we have until the deadline. But there's not really any part of me that's thinking about Captain and Son. Like, sometimes I'm close between 2. There is part of me that thinks I should just go for the differential. They're both good options this week, so just go for the player that's lower owned and then hope it works out. But I don't know. I don't think I'm going to. There is also part of me that is hedging my potential disappointment, because if I don't captain Son and he absolutely smashes it, obviously I wish I had captained him, but also there's very good chance he outscores Sterling and therefore the move was okay. Whereas if I captain him and he blanks, and then Haaland does well and Sterling does well, that's like double disappointment. So that is not a logical reason to not captain Son. But as I said on a video this week, we're all human, right? And that emotional part of the game, I do think about. And so there is part of me that, yeah, just doesn't want the double disappointment. I mean, obviously, it could also be double joy, right? He smashes Sterling and he smashes Haaland. But I'm kind of hedging my bets a little bit. I'm not that confident in Son that I think he's better than Haaland. I said that on Game Week preview this week. One of the reasons I made this move quite late last night, about midnight or something. And I've got to do something because I want to sleep. And in the end, what happened was, I was thinking to myself, if I don't get Son, I guess I get a Newcastle defender, but I don't know what I do next week. I hadn't really given that enough thought. So I thought by getting Son, next week's move is already locked in, right? Next week's move is going to be Saliba to a Newcastle defender, probably share, maybe Botman. And so I know what I'm going to do. And then I can roll the other transfer if I've got no other issues. And then in game week 7, I'm going to do Jackson to Morris. Whereas if I got a Newcastle defender in this week, there wouldn't have really been too much to do. And also, I wasn't 100% sure what I would do if I got Trippier this week and locked the money. So in the end, I was like, I'm just going to get Son. And then I know what I'm doing next week. So it's, again, not a good reason to make the move. But it was part of the reason I did it. I just wanted to go to sleep. And I knew what I was doing next week then. You really shouldn't follow me. I just talk rubbish. I don't even know what I'm doing. Am I confident Turner will play? I'm less confident since the baby stuff, but I'm not really worried, to be honest. I don't understand that. Always go for the better option and don't look at others. Sheffield United at home is better than West Ham away. Yes, you should look at fixtures, but you should also look at the player, right? And Haaland's goal threat's absolutely ridiculous, and he's definitely on penalties. There are at least some doubts with Son. Not many, granted. I think he will be on penalties, and I'm pretty sure he will play number 9. Right? I'm not really too worried about that. But am I not worried about Son's fixtures? I am. Right? I don't think Arsenal away and Liverpool at home are good, But if he continues playing as a striker, he's getting into lots of goal scoring positions, he's a great finisher, and he's on penalties, then I'm not going to be that worried. There is obviously scenarios where he doesn't play that well there. He moves back to the left. Maddison's on penalties, and then I've got to look at him with Arsenal and Liverpool at home, and suddenly I wish I probably didn't have him. But I'm taking that gamble. I just think, look, maybe I and others are exaggerating how bad of an option he was on the left. Maybe that's the case, right? Maybe it was just the first 3 games, it happens, not great, and that would have improved. But he didn't look as good as he did against Burnley. And obviously he had 3 shots and 3 of them went in. So chances are it's not going to happen again. It's a gamble, right? And you're doing that all the time in FPL. I'm not sitting here trying to convince you that is the absolute best move I could have made and it's 100% certain to pay off. It's absolutely not. Sterling's playing Bournemouth. He could get a brace easy and Son could blank. It can happen. I'm just willing to take that bet. Like, will it be fun on Twitter if it goes wrong? Of course not. Twitter's not usually that much fun anyway. But yeah, I'm just taking the gamble. Is what it is. Is what it is. Also, another part of my thought process, I had to go through lots of stuff with this move, is had I not gone for Sterling last week, I would have kept Martinelli. I'd be plus 3 points. But you know what I wouldn't be doing? I wouldn't be sat here worrying about doing Martinelli to Son. I would have just got it done straight away. And obviously you do have to change your thought process because Sterling has got Bournemouth away, right? But if I had Martinelli even against Everton away, I'd probably just be making that move. I mean, again, that's not logical, so yeah, I'm just talking rubbish. I'm delirious this morning. Martin, good morning. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Apart from the nonsense, I'm spewing. I transferred Udogie in yesterday, but this morning I found out that Trent won't start. Would you take a -4 for Trent to Gusto, Newcastle defender, or play Estepinian? I'd probably just play. I mean, is Gusto or a Newcastle defender worth 4 more points than Estepinian this week? Probably not. So I just play Estepinian. Is benching in Burmo viable? Depends who for. There are not many players that I would bench in Burmo for, to be honest, even against Newcastle away. I don't like benching penalty takers for a start. Especially ones that are like nailed on to play 90 minutes pretty much. Bruno or Saka to Son. Oh my god. I listened to Praz, Seb and Flapjack last night discussing this. Good luck. I would probably sell Saka before Bruno. I don't even know. I don't know. When I say that out loud, I just don't think I could. I don't think I could do that. But then when I say, "Oh no, I'd sell Bruno before Saka," I just can't sell Bruno. Honestly, I wouldn't get Son in that scenario unless you 100% want to captain him. Bruno's fixtures are probably slightly better, I would say, slightly over the next 4 to 5. He's definitely on penalties. I think I'd sell Saka before Bruno, but honestly, there's not much in it. And I don't even know if I've made a good reason for that either. Matoma to Mbermo, or have I missed the boat? You haven't missed the boat on Mbermo, no. Whether or not you need to do that this week, though. The thing is, if you don't do it this week, you're not going to want to do it next week either. So, unless you've got 2 free transfers and nothing else to do, I would probably just hold Matoma, to be honest. You're not going to want to sell him before Bournemouth at home next week. Stay in that game. Yash, member for 11 months. How's it going? I need Son this week. You don't need Son. But Son could be good. Have Foden, Jota, Saka as sales. What do you think is Foden's ceiling this week? 10 points. I mean, I would sell Jota. I think Jota's the easy one to sell out of that. Tom Meany, how's it going? Nicholas Jackson to Hoyland. He scored over the international break for Denmark. Yeah, but he's not playing for Denmark now. He's playing for Man United. He can benefit playing in a better team. The Son transfer is risky. Yeah. I mean, Jackson to Hoyland's okay, but Jackson's got a good fixture. His numbers are good. Like, I agree with Pochettino. Me and Pochettino are on the same level of thinking That he played well last week. He was just unlucky not to score. I agree. I'm listening to Queen right now. Do. Do you think Mitoma's game time will drop with Ansu Fati? Possibly. I want to see where he plays today. De Zerbi basically said that he's going to play at some point today. That's seemed to be what he was. I don't even think he was implying. I think he basically said it. I don't think he'll start though. But off the bench, let's see. I will give you £1,000 if you beat me this year. Okay. Gavin, 12 months. How is it going? Thank you very much. Who's best for the next 2 games? Vardio or Chilwell out for Trippier? Definitely Vardio. Definitely Vardio over Chilwell. Like, Chilwell's pretty much guaranteed start, I would say. And I got, given what Pochettino said, I think there's a good chance he plays left wing again. He was kind of bigging him up in that position. It was almost like he was justifying his reason for playing him left wing. So, if Vardio, then João Pedro out for Morris as well for the cash. Share is good. João Pedro for Morris could be good. I don't know if you need to do João Pedro to Morris for the next 2 weeks, but if you're looking to use a transfer, yeah, it's fine. Hammer to full. Yeah. Did you get that? I think that's on, yeah. Yeah, did you get that just from my humming? Foden Jackson to Son Alvarez worth a -4. No, don't think so. What match is on Premier Sports today? It is Man United versus Brighton. So yeah, I'm going to get to watch Man United live, which may or may not be fun against Brighton. I mean, I was talking to Praz last night, and who has sold Fernandes, by the way. And he said, would you be surprised if Brighton beat us 2-1? I was like, not really. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Man United scored twice either. So let's see what happens. It's going to be a good 3 o'clock because we've got Man United attackers against Brighton. We got Son and Maddison versus Sheffield United. And we got Haaland. So all playing at the same time. It's kind of nice that the captaincy will be decided at once. Any early Liverpool team news? Not that I've seen. I mean, Trent's out, right? We know that. It's not really early news. That's from yesterday. Hassan, Gabriel, Tarkowski, Estepinian, Rashford, Saka, Marshall. I have 2 subs and 0.4 on the bench. My bench is Arca. What are you thinking about doing? What are you thinking about doing? You got 2 transfers. What's the priority there? I mean, I probably wouldn't want Tarkowski, that's for sure. Newcastle defender would probably be pretty good. Russ stuck with João Pedro, still got 0.5 in the bank, thinking of just going for Morris. Yeah, but again, João Pedro's probably going to start this week, right? I get it though. I do get João Pedro. Like, he would frustrate me as well, but you can take it week by week, right? I think there's a good chance he starts this week, then maybe reassess next week. But if you want to get rid of him, then Morris I think is a pretty good option. Now that I think about it, selling Bruno sounds better than selling Sterling, given their attacking threat. Not so sure about that. I mean, Fernandes is much more likely to get you an assist than a goal, but his underlying stats are pretty good. He's been unlucky not to get more returns so far. Luke Shaw's out, so he's on all set pieces. He's also on penalties as well. He's absolutely nailed. His minutes are great. And Højlund's playing now as well, which, if Højlund starts off well, that's only going to benefit Fernandes. So, I don't know. I just think with the fixtures Man United have got coming up, I've really given getting rid of them no thought. I just don't want to sell Rashford or Fernandes. But again, like, just to reiterate, Sterling's a really good pick, and if you don't want to sell him, that's fine. Pretty good. His data is insanely good. Yeah, he's good. Simply FPL, how's it going? Member for 13 months. Captain Son, live a little. I can't do it. Can't do it, I'm afraid. Like, if Son smashes it, I'm going to be happy either way. Obviously, like I said earlier, if he smashes it and gets another hat-trick, I'd rather have had him captain, of course, but I don't know. There is part of me that thinks I should just do it. Honestly, do you know the reason I'm not... Well, there's a few reasons, but one of the reasons I'm not captaining Son is I just don't want the pain of going against Haaland when he gets a brace again. Like, I'm not sure... I captained Salah so much last year versus Haaland. I don't think it ever worked out once. And if it did, it was by like a point or two. It's just not worth the stress. So I'm going for the boring play, I'm afraid. But yeah, if you want to go for the edge, Son is probably where it's at. I mean, Son is where it's at, right? And also, I know exactly where Haaland's going to play, right? And I know he's definitely on penalties. I'm pretty certain, like 99.99% sure, that Son is going to line up as the number 9 today. I'd be very surprised that doesn't happen. But of course, Richarlison's going to come off the bench, and that means Son could move to left wing. So how many minutes does Son get striker? There's all these things to think about. Whereas with Haaland, how many minutes does he get striker? Probably enough until he scores 2 goals, then goes off, right? The fact that Son and Haaland are playing at the same time makes me more interested in it. Because sometimes when you, like, whichever way around it is, you know, if Haaland plays first and smash it, you got to wait for Son. Or if Son plays first and blanks, you got to wait for Haaland. That's even worse. The fact they're playing at the same time kind of makes me a little bit more tempted, maybe. Tempted to get Son. In the meantime, my son George is keen to know if you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, of course. Of course. Leonardo. The best. Although everyone kind of like, you have to kind of like Michelangelo when you're a kid. For sure. But Leonardo's where it's at for me. Although they're not called that anymore, are they? They're called Leo and Mikey, right? Ugh. Here Son is pronounced Son. Ahmed, 25 months member, thank you very much. Already got Madison and Udogie, either Rashford or Saka out for Son. I wouldn't sell either of those for Son. Like, if I was going to sell one, again, I'd probably sell... I don't know if I could sell Saka. The thing is, if I say that I would sell Rashford over Saka, that means that I rate Bruno higher than Rashford, and I don't know if I do. Like I said this to Praz last night. Selling one of Rashford, Fernandes and Saka to Son is almost certainly going to be the right move over the next 3 weeks. Which one? I've got no idea. I've got no idea. I think they're all great. So I probably just wouldn't do it. If you push me, I'd probably sell the guy without penalties. So I'd sell Rashford, but I wouldn't want to sell him. Or João Pedro for Mubama. Or João Pedro or Mubama for Awani. Awani's alright, yeah. I mean, I guess João Pedro, right? I just don't think you need to get Son in your situation. Suddenly everyone did forget Maddison. We haven't forgotten him. Just that if Son's on penalty... I mean, to be fair, right? The whole if Son's on penalty... I mean, that argument could have been made in Game Week 1 as well, to be fair, right? It's not a new thing. They haven't had a penalty yet, so we're still just guessing. I do... Like, if Son's playing central, he's better than Maddison, right? He's more likely to score. Maddison's more likely to get you an assist. That's all. So, like, Maddison is still a great pick. But if you were picking one this week and you had the money to do either, who would you pick? I think most people would go for Son, right? There's not... Oh, there is a bit of hype about Morris. They got a double game week in Game Week 7. Pretty good fixtures before and in the double. And he's cheap as well. Like, most people aren't rushing to buy him this week. But some people have got cheap forwards they want to get rid of. That's all. Ronnie, thank you very much. Jacob, same team as yours except Maddison for Son and Watkins for Jackson. Happy with the team. Have 2 free transfers. Need to make a move. Looking for a long-term alternative for Estepinian or the goalkeeper. Yeah, so you either do Pickford to Flecken and just bench him this week, or you do Estepinian to a Newcastle defender, I would say. Most joy you've had from a single FPL moment. Every time someone asks me a question like that, my first thought is always Antonio 4 goals against Norwich when he was low-owned. Spurs hype is too funny. They always do this at the start of the season. Yeah, could be wrong. Could be wrong. I mean, the thing is, like, I kind of just try and ignore all this stuff because I got Sterling last week and I got loads of comments saying you shouldn't have bought him. And now I've sold him. There's loads of comments saying you shouldn't sell him. So I kind of just ignore all the noise, really. Yeah. Like, Son could go horribly wrong. Like, no one's denying that. He could go really great as well. Son has been great for a very long time when he gets into goal-scoring positions. Andrew Edwards, member for 25 months. Thank you very much. Baldock out for cash and bench Estepinian or roll. I'll probably roll in that case. Don't think cash is... I'll probably roll, yeah. You won't captain Son, ownership wins. Yeah, partly, yeah. I kind of talked about that earlier as well. Is there any validity to Saka having a knock? Arteta said he's fine. I mean, the rumour is that he's had a knock for a long time, and he's continued to play every single game. So I don't know if there's anything to worry about right now. Maybe at some point there will be. Ross, start Ruben Dias, Matty Cash, Rashford, or Romero. I would always start Rashford over those. Utash, thank you very much. Bench Eshipinian or Pinnock. That's a good question. I mean, Pinnock's... I don't know who's got the easier fixture there, to be honest. I mean, I think Newcastle and Man United will both score, so I would play the more attacking Eshipinian. That would probably be my thinking. Which is better for the next 5 game weeks? Spurs or Newcastle, £5 million defender? Am I not planning to get Villa defence? I don't think there's a rush to get Villa defence at all. Like, the fixtures are okay. This week's good, but then it's Chelsea away. I mean, I don't really need a Villa defender for that. Where are Villa? Oh, wait, no, sorry. Game week 6, yeah, Villa away. Chelsea away. And then game week 7 is Brighton at home. So I would expect Chelsea and Brighton to both score against Villa. So I'm not really in any rush, no, to be honest. Don't think they're that important. Also, my defence is pretty good. I'd rather get a Newcastle defender. Spurs or Newcastle defender. If you need to play them most weeks, I would probably get a Newcastle defender. Like, basically for Spurs defenders, you play them this week and then you bench them the next 2. So it really depends on who you're rotating. But I would probably go for Botman or Cher over Udogie this week for most people. It really depends who else you've got. Start Cash, Trippier, and Burmo. The thing is, I feel like you've probably got to start Trippier again ahead of Burmo because he's at home. But I just don't think I could bench Burmo. I just don't think I would. So I'm going to answer what I would do. I would play Burmo. I'm almost certain of it. I just don't think I could bench him, even for Trippier. But I also fully get why people would do that, right? There's probably good odds for Newcastle to get a clean sheet this week. I can't bench penalty take. I just can't do it. My FPL... Well, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Rules? It's probably not rules. It's probably a better word than that. It just won't let me do it. My FPL beliefs will not let me bench someone like Burmo. Just can't do it. Pretend you still have 2 free transfers. What would you do? Is that another way of saying you've got this team? I'd probably do Saliba to a Newcastle defender. Maybe Pickford to Flecken, because I could do the Newcastle defender move next week. But yeah, probably that. Son in for Eze or Foden. I'd probably sell Foden out of those 2. I mean, it really depends what you can do with the extra money as well, though, right? There's a bit of a price difference between the 2. Pickford, Foden, João Pedro to Leno. Honestly, I get that people don't like Pickford. I do not get the Leno shout at all. The Fulham defence is just as bad, if not worse, than Everton. I don't get it. And for a -4 as well. I don't get that at all. Foden, João Pedro to Maddison, Archer sounds okay to me if you're benching Archer most weeks. Good defender to pair it with Eshipinian to rotate for the next 6-7 fixtures. I mean, Udogie's pretty good. The only time you really get in a mess is game week 7, where Eshipinian plays Villa away and Udogie has Liverpool at home. But I think playing Eshipinian in that game is fine. Could you answer the question that flashed up at the end of your final thoughts video? Yeah, I know. I messed up there, didn't I? I was going to include it. I thought the video is already long enough. Would I do Foden to Son? I would have had 2 free transfers. If I had 1, maybe. Still amazed at the hype of Man United midfielders over all others when they scored 58 goals the entire season. Yeah, and guess what? Rashford scored more goals than all the Arsenal midfielders. Turner or Onana? I'd probably play Turner, I think. Also, Captain Son, join me. Probably not. Bruno Rashford to Son with 1 free transfer. I wouldn't do that, to be honest, no. Fazy, play Bayer versus Forest at home and save the transfer, or do Bulldog to Udogie, Cash and bench Bayer. If you've got 2 free... if you've only got 1 free transfer, I probably would just roll, I think. I mean, Bayer versus Nottingham Forest, not great, is it? I'd probably roll. I mean, maybe I would do Bulldog to a Newcastle defender because they're good for the next few weeks. I think you can roll. I think people get too worried about teams. You're looking at you're thinking about players, really. Like with the Man United 58 goals thing. I mean, that's been rattled off through pre-season, through game week 1, game week 2. If there's one thing FPL managers know, they know how many goals Man United scored last season. I mean, Man City scored like, what, 100 goals or something? Then we should probably have 3 Man City attackers, right? But that's not how FPL works. There are some people with Alvarez, Foden and Haaland absolutely loving life right now. Played wildcard but want to keep Mo. Yeah, I think if you wildcard without Salah, you need a plan to get him in, I would say. Like, a lot of people are going to go from around game weeks 9 or 10. I'm probably going to put it off until game week 10 because in game week 9, Son has Fulham at home. Man United have Sheffield United away, so that's 2 players obviously I've got. And Burmo has Burnley at home. And Saka I would have probably sold to Maddison, who'll also have Fulham at home. So if I probably will put off Salah till game week 10. But sooner rather than later, you're going to want him. And it's probably easier just to include him on the wild card now than have to get him in later. Do I really drink from that 5-litre dispenser bottle? I mean, I do, but it's not 5 litre. It does look like that, I know. It's like, I think it's nearly 2 litres, something like that. 2 free transfers, Martinelli for Maddison and Isak for Alvarez. I don't mind those moves. I don't know if you need to get rid of Isak. I guess there is a chance that there is probably a chance that Wilson starts, I guess, but Isak has been first choice, so I'm not convinced by that. Watkins to Archer to get Son for Matoma, wildcard 9-10. I mean, if you're benching Watkins anyway, then sure. But again, I don't think you need to make 2 free transfers to get Son necessarily, but I do think he's better than Matoma, yes. I'm on wildcard. Son, Salah, Maddison, Bruno and Burma. Would you rather go for Diaz instead of Salah and upgrade the rest of the team? I'd rather have Salah. Is Botman playing? I think there's got to be a pretty good chance Botman starts, but it's not a guarantee. But he'll be good from game week 6 onwards anyway, as long as he doesn't get another injury or anything like that. Should I start Rico, Henry or Archer? Ooh, I'd probably start Archer, to be honest. I mean, look, I'm playing Udogie, so I'm hoping for a clean sheet, but I'd probably play the attacker. Also, do we think there's a chance that any Sheffield United fans in the chat, probably not, because I always say they're rubbish, but do we think Archer might be on penalties? Is there a chance? Because Sander Berger's gone, right? I think he might have been on penalties. Am I wrong? I could be talking absolute rubbish. I'd probably play Archer ahead of... I think Brentford concede, right, to Newcastle away, so I'd play Archer. SGP now might well score, yeah. Am I going to stack up on Newcastle players from next week? No, I'll probably get 1 defender and that'll be it. I'm not interested in any of their attackers. Like, if Wilson or Isak gets injured, different conversation, then I really like the other one. But until that happens... There's too much rotation. None of the midfielders come in ahead of any of the midfielders that I've got. Although, if Gordon or Barnes gets 19 points, then I know what my next move is. It's Son to the next 19-pointer. That's absolutely what's going to happen. The Sheffield United fans started their own deadline stream after all your taunting. Yeah, like, it's not that deep, is it? Like, we got, like, at the end of the day, there's always going to be... Out of 20 teams, there's always going to be teams that are a little bit worse than the rest, right? That's all. Norwood on penalties for Sheffield United. Oh, that's boring. That's boring. Is Son a necessity with the 2 hard fixtures coming up? Nope. Marco, is it a good idea wildcarding to transfer out Rashford, Jackson, Anderson, bench for hot? No. You don't need to wildcard to get rid of Rashford and Jackson, and if Anderson's on your bench, it's not really an issue. Hoyland, Son, Neto? No. Don't think you need a wild card. Richard, thank you very much. Master, Zuppy. Sell Salah to Son. Only if you really need the money for another move. Otherwise, I'd just keep on a Salah. Like, is Son better than Salah this week? I don't think he is in isolation. But if you need the money, it's different. Is Salah undroppable? Nope. But you are going to want him around game weeks 9-10. So just think about that. Is Matoma to Son a no-brainer? No, but it's a good move. I'd rather have Son than Matoma. Faye, Son captain, go for it. Josip Gordon, what do you think about him? I'm just not interested. Like, look, we'll see. I said pre-season there might be a chance that Gordon plays right wing just because they've got so many good left wing options, especially with Barnes coming in. But it hasn't happened so far. Gordon's played on the left. So if he's only going to play on the left, then could Barnes play at some point? Like, ultimately, and this has been the case for the first 4 weeks, now the 5th week, there are so many good midfielders. I just don't think the Newcastle ones are good enough to warrant a place in our side. Like, they're good FPL. Like, they're going to score points. Like, I don't have any doubts about that. And they've got good fixtures coming up. But I just don't see where they fit in with it. With, like, you could easily in this team have Maddison. You could have Eze. You could have Foden. Like, there's lots of other midfielders. Like, do we want one of our 5 slots filled up with Anthony Gordon? I mean, he's played well first 4 games. But probably not. And also, they tend to get subbed early as well. So I'm not really that interested. Like, in my midfield, let's just assume that Son is on penalties. I've got 4 penalty takers from Arsenal, Spurs, Brentford and Man United. And then I've got Rashford as well. And Gordon doesn't get in ahead of Rashford. It's just not going to happen. And this is partly due to the pricing, which I'm not gonna moan about. But the pricing and also the need to not. Sorry, there's no need to have Salah at the moment. It just makes it too easy to just ignore players like Gordon and Almiron. I mean, to be fair, I ignored Almiron last year and it didn't go too well. So maybe the same thing will happen. But yeah, is Morris a good buy this week? Start over in Burmo. He's an okay buy. I wouldn't buy him to bench in Burmo, though, that's for sure. Pedro to Morris and Shaw to any 5.3 or cheaper defender. Pedro to Morris and Shaw to any... We'll take a punt and do Pedro to Hoyland and a throwaway 3.9. Nah, I'd probably go for a cheaper defender. Go for Botman or Cher, to be honest. Probably. I mean, Cher I'd probably be more confident starts this week, but Botman's probably okay, right? Matoma to Son. I like it. Start Bowen over March or vice versa. I'd play March, I think. I'd play March. I mean, West Ham are at home, I guess, but I think March has got the easier fixture. Got 2 free transfers, don't know what to do. Team's in pretty good shape. Maybe Gusto, Saliba to a Newcastle defender and roll. Or Son. Yeah, I mean, yeah, both of those options are good. I went for the Son route and then Newcastle next week. You could do it the other way around if you wanted to. Although you're not going to buy... If you're going to get Son, you're getting him this week. You're not getting him next week for Arsenal away. Would I gamble on Hoyland? I mean, I might do, but I haven't done this week. I don't... Like, Alvarez is a pretty good option right now, right? Jackson's okay, but there's not a huge amount of standout great forwards around that £7 million price point. So if you want to take a punt on Hoyland, go for it. But I think just be careful because a lot of people have brought Jackson in knowing that he's young and inexperienced and going to miss chances. And now they're super frustrated that he's missing chances and he's dropped in price. Like, the same thing could happen for Hoyland, for sure. I do think, though, Man United players generally, like, if they do well, they do tend to go up quite quickly because there's so many Man United fans. So if it goes well this week and then he's got Burnley away next week, the price increases then. Play or bench Edouard? Well, I mean, who are you benching him for? Why am I on Palace away? Villa away? Sorry, it's okay. It depends who you're benching him for, though, right? So I'll say play because I don't know what your other option is. Play Sanchez or Turner? Ooh, Turner, I think. Best goalkeeper this week and for the long term. Do you know what? I was looking at potential moves last night, and I do like Flecken, but there's part of me that thinks maybe just get Areola, even with 2 bad... Like, it depends how long term it is, right? But if you're thinking now until the second wild card, I would be tempted just to get Areola. Yes, he's got 2 bad fixtures, but then the fixtures afterwards are pretty good and he's cheap. So I think Flecken, but I would not completely turn down Areola either. It depends how much money you need going forward, right? You've broken the unspoken rule. Never take a player out after 1 week. I know. It's a bad move. Man United blinkers on. I know, you just shouldn't listen to me. Honestly, I would just tune into a different stream. I'm fully Man United biased. There is no way I would not have at least 3 Man United players in my team at all times. Captain in Salah today to hopefully get ahead at the top of my mini league. Wish me luck. Good luck. Captain Salah, bless me. Good luck, Ben. Lots of Salah captains. I like it. It's funny how, like, almost forgotten the salaries in the conversation, right? You almost don't talk about Salah captain because everyone's discussing just Haaland and Son. That's not going to be the case in a few weeks. 100% we're going to be back to Haaland versus Salah conversations. It's going to happen, unless he gets injured. But Salah's very rarely injured. I've not heard any news on Nunez. Nope. I'm sorry to say. My gut feeling will be that he'll probably be benched because it's not like Klopp doesn't have other players that can play. Is there a need to risk him if he's not been long back from international duty? But I don't know that. He could start, right, if he's fit and ready. If you had Maddison, would that have changed your mind about the Son transfer? I mean, not necessarily. It's hard to say one way or the other, right? Because like it's very easy to say something when you don't have to make the decision. Like if I had Maddison, if I'd gone for Maddison last week instead of Sterling, then I wouldn't have done Maddison to Son, and I'd probably be sat here without him because I wouldn't want to sell any of Saka and Burmo, Fernandes or Rashford. If I had Sterling and Maddison and no Saka, would I have not done Sterling to Son because I had Maddison? I don't know. Maybe there probably would have been a little bit of me thinking I don't need to make that move because I've got Maddison, but that shouldn't really come into our thinking. Son is either a better option than Sterling or he's not, right? That should be the way we think about it. But again, we're all human. We don't necessarily think like that with our FPL decisions. You're not enjoying FPL if you're not making any rash transfers once in a while. It happens. It happens. I mean, I said it on Twitter last night, right? We do have new information about Son. Him playing number 9 is new information that we did not have at the start of the season. But at the same time, it's a massive knee-jerk. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If he'd only scored 1 goal and played number 9 for 90 minutes, he probably wouldn't have been transferred in by as many people as he is. That's just a fact, right? People can tell you all they want about, Son's been so good in front of goal, though. If I knew he was a number 9, I definitely would have had him in. All those things might be true, but the fact that he scored a hat-trick is why he's been so heavily transferred in. And I'm not pretending otherwise, right? Would I have got him if he'd only scored once and played number 9? Probably not. And lots of people are in the same position. They just don't want to say it. It's a knee-jerk. I'm comfortable with it. We move on. And we probably complain about it when it goes really badly this week. We'll see. 2 free transfers. Want to get rid of either Colwill, Estepini and Martin Odegaard. I mean, Colwill is okay, I guess. Estepini is good next week. It depends what your other players are, right? Like, I would probably get rid of one of the Martinelli and Odegaard, to be honest, especially if you can get some. Feels like this season it's a case of chasing lost points. Not really. Like, I think, like, not everyone got Sterling in last week, right? Some got Maddison. I went for Sterling because of long-term fixtures. Now I'm knee-jerking to get Son. It's not really chasing lost points. I mean, the thing is, again, like 2 things can be, what am I trying to say, correct at the same time? I don't know. Anyway, Son's a knee-jerk, right? But Alvarez did really well last week, and Jackson didn't. I think Praz said this on Twitter. I haven't once looked at doing Jackson to Alvarez. Isak scored a brace in game week 1. I didn't once look at getting Isak in. So, yes, Son's a knee-jerk, but we don't knee-jerk to every single player that scores lots of points. So, there is some subtle differences with this move. But at the same time, it is still just a knee-jerk, right? Mutually exclusive? Yeah, maybe that's... I'm really bad with words, honestly. Shouldn't make videos. Xander Red, member for 30 months, thank you very much. After press conferences and having no backup, I could do Bulldog to Botman and start him, or Estepinian to share. I would just do Bulldog to Botman, I think, and keep Estepinian. The thing is, I looked at it last night, right, thinking, after Bournemouth at home, I don't really need Estepinian for 3 weeks. But if I have to play Estepinian away to Villa, that's not a problem for me. Because he's so attacking. 100% Pickford gets a clean sheet and 12-pointer this week when we all bench. I mean, I've benched 12-pointers the last 2 weeks in a row. Archer last week and Udogi the week before. So I'm used to it now. I'm used to it. It's more of a knee-jerk reaction without the knee. Let's talk knee-jerking. You have a whole stream dedicated to knee-jerking. Yeah, but I think it was a good point from Praz that, yes, there is an element of reacting. Some people might say overreacting, but We don't do it for every player. Like I said, I never thought once about doing Jackson to Alvarez. Not once. Even if I think Alvarez is a better option now moving forward, I still haven't given it any thought. Fun fact, Andy's team has been hacked 3 times in his FPL career. I don't think that's the case. Once badly. Start or bench Edouard? Yeah, I already kind of answered that one. I'd start him, I guess, because I don't know who you're benching him for. Nikhil, only one free transfer. Worth doing either of Saka, Mbeumo, Bruno, or Sterling to Son. Have Madison also. Should I just roll? I mean, this is the exact same. This is basically the scenario that Fozzie was talking about just a minute ago. Like, would I have done Sterling to Son with one free transfer? I don't know. I can't answer that. I just don't. My gut instinct is that I wouldn't have done it, but I probably the fear of missing out probably would have got to me. I don't think you need to do it. I think Sterling's fine, and one free transfer is probably viable to just roll. Would I do that if I was in that exact position? I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know. Which two to field out of Gusto, Gabriel, Matoma? Definitely Matoma. And then Gusto versus Gabriel is interesting. I mean, if I had to bet money on which one of those who's going to start, I'd probably put more money on Gusto, but I'm pretty confident Gabriel starts this week. Who's the worst attack, Bournemouth or Everton? I mean, that's probably a little bit tougher than it seems, because Everton have done all right this year. The better defence is Arsenal. Who do I think is more likely to get an attack in return? I actually think Gusto, maybe. I'm gonna say Gabriel over Gusto. So Matoma and Gabriel. Remember, there's Game Week 9 wildcard coming up. Can wait on Son given fixtures. But actually, I'm thinking of it differently, to be honest. So I'm looking at it as I want Son for 8 and 9. This isn't why I bought him in this week, but I will want Son for 8 and 9. And then I'm probably going to wildcard him out, not wildcard him in. I mean, look, loads of stuff could have happened by that point. Man United might be looking completely awful. Son might be looking fantastic in all the next 5 game weeks and definitely on penalties. Richarlison's not getting a look in, and maybe I hold him. But I'm actually thinking game week 10 wildcard and get rid of him. I'm probably not going to wildcard in game week 9 now, I don't think. Like, the team just looks pretty good by... Like, let me just show you what it looks like, right? So, roughly... let me just find my team here. I have to get the other. Let me just get the other screen up a second. God's sake! There we go. The production value on this stream is just wonderful. So I've done Sterling to Son. I've knee-jerk Son in. Next week, I probably do Saliba. I actually think there's a chance I go for Botman over Cher next week. I do think that Cher is better than Botman, but I think I'll probably end up just saving the money. So I do that next week. Game week 7, I do Jackson to Morris. I've already got all my transfers just basically locked in. Morris comes in. Game week 8 is probably Saka to Madison. Alright. Sack the producer, yeah, he's awful. And then I've got a second and then I probably keep Mbeumo because he's got Burnley at home in game week 9. Then this is game week 9. I've got 3.3 million in the bank. Chilwell's got Arsenal at home. So if he's fit, do you know I bring in who no one's talking about? Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I've got 1 million in the bank. So this would be the team. Now, the problem is, if Turner's lost his place, then I've got Pickford versus Liverpool. But I think I've got another spare... Yeah, I've got another transfer, haven't I? Because I've only used one every week. So I could do Pickford to anyone for like 5 odd million. Let's just say I get Fleck in him because he's got Burnley at home. That would be... hopefully that's been easy enough to follow. Like, this would be the team in game week 9. So you'd have Flecken against Burnley. I mean, obviously, this is not going to go all perfectly. But you'd have Flecken against Burnley at home, Botman against Palace at home, Trent against Everton at home, Udogie against Fulham at home, as well as Maddison and Son. In Burma's got Burnley. Fernandes and Rashford have got Sheffield United away. Haaland's got Brighton at home. Obviously, you're not worried about him anyway. And then Morris has got Forest away. And then you wildcard in game week 10. The only thing you really miss is Salah against Everton at home. But if I'm okay captaining Haaland and I've got that midfield, I probably don't need to worry about it. Plus, you get another week of information. So I'm probably not going to wildcard game week 9. If you want to check out, obviously, your team and stuff, get it rated for free. Links in the description, etc. But yeah, I think game week 9 wildcard's probably off the table for me. But I won't lock anything in yet. Basically, Trent is definitely out this week. But that was for game week 9. Obviously, if he's not back by game week 9, I do a different move. But that's just roughly. The deadline timer is wrong. Nope. Deadline is 11 a.m. The other option is to go big on the double game week in 7 and wildcard in 8, but I'm just not prepared to commit to Luton and Burnley, I don't think. Would I really wildcard out Son? I mean, I don't know. I don't need to make the decision for another 5 game weeks. Like I said, I'll take into account what's happened between now and then and maybe not. But ultimately, if you want Salah, you probably need 2 6.5-ish million midfielders. So probably Diaby and Mbeumo or Diaby and Eze maybe. And so you've only got 2 more midfield slots for Son, Rashford, Fernandes, Saka. Arsenal's fixtures are really good from game week 10. You've got Sheffield United at home, Newcastle away, Burnley at home, Brentford away, Wolves at home, Luton away. It doesn't really matter, right? It's game week 10. We don't need to worry about it. But I don't think Son is a certainty on game week 10 wildcard, basically. Which is why I think getting him in now, holding him until 9 is fine. I mean, I might not even wildcard then. I could just use 2 free transfers, do Rashford and Son to a cheap midfielder and Salah. That's one of the reasons to go Botman over Share, is just to leave that extra money out. Anyway, sorry. There's a lot of talk about stuff that doesn't matter right now, really. Only 1 free... Oh, no, I did that one. Which 2... Yeah, I've done that one as well. Oh. Start Saliba or Diaz? Arsenal have a bad... I'd probably start Diaz over Saliba, I think. I've been told by my source that Son is not playing. Okay. Akanji... Oh, not playing 9. Akanji to... By the way, that's a super chat. I've got no idea if that's real or not. Akanji to Share with Akanji being a rotation risk. I don't mind it, but I suspect Akanji will play this week, will he not? Stones is out again. Got to be a good chance that Akanji starts. I've not seen any team news for Liverpool, though. I've got to be honest, I'm not really looking. Sam Billing needs some help on his wildcard. Yeah, no, nothing that I've seen. I tell you what, though. Yeah, no, I've not. I can't see anything on Twitter. I don't really know who usually has early team news, though. Yeah, I don't know. 11 a.m. deadline, yeah. Foden out, Bruno in, or wait. I wouldn't do Foden to Bruno this week, I don't think. Start Estepinian or Cash. Who would you bring in this week? Trippier or Share? Trippier minutes concern. I think the minutes concern is being massively overblown. So I would say, look, Trippier. I think Trippier is better than Share, but take into account the money difference. Like, for example, me doing Sterling to Son this week, I know that unless I sell Chilwell, I now cannot get Trippier. And I'm okay with that. Like, but if it was a different scenario where I just thought Son was a really bad option, I didn't want to bring him in, then I probably would go Trippier. But you need to think about what it's going to block in the future. It's a big money difference. Who to sell Pedro for? I'd probably go Morris, I think. Depends how much money you've got. Is it a bad idea to sell Saka for Son? I don't think I would be selling Saka for Son, to be honest with you. Like, I had a hard time selling Sterling, and I think Sterling is a pretty good option. But selling Saka, I mean, I love the guy. So maybe it's not the fairest. Maybe I'm a bit biased, right? Because I do love Sterling. Saka. I don't think I could do it. Estepinian, Gusto, or Botman to play this week. Probably. I mean, probably if they're all going to start, probably Botman, but I'd probably go Gusto just in case. Eze to Son. Fantasy Football Hub player comparison is worth looking before answering. Lots of factors, including fixtures too. I don't know if I'm being stupid, but something is stopping me from this transfer. It's not stupid. I think Eze is a good pick. I think Son is better. So then it really comes down to the money, right? That's like, if money's no issue, then I prefer Son to Eze. Madison unbenched Richarlison in his FPL team. He might start there. How do you know that, though? You can't know that unless Madison has posted his team. What am I looking at here? Yeah, no Liverpool news still. 25 minutes to the deadline, you never know. Nicholas Jackson to Jesus. Nah, I'm not interested in that, I don't think. I would just wait. Selling Burmo or Foden for Son? Probably Foden, but as you know, I do prefer Burmo to Son. I may have mentioned it a few times last couple of weeks. Rashford to Son or Roll? Probably Roll. Oleg Benga. Thank you very much. I've definitely pronounced that wrong. Sorry. Scott, thank you. Scott Fleming, thank you. Scott O'Brien. Keep Foden or Roll. One free transfer. Or one... Oh my God, excuse me. Keep Foden or Roll. One free transfer to Salah. I'd probably just keep Foden. Had this funny feeling that Flecken will outscore Turner again. I mean, it's definitely possible. Yeah. But I think if Turner starts, I'd be happier playing him. Jota to Madison -4 or get Son and Share. Oh, Jota to Madison or -4 to get Son and Share. I'd probably just do Jota to Madison. But there has to be a chance that Jota starts today. Just keep that in mind. Still eating kiwi skins. When I went on holiday to Lanzarote this summer. Every morning I had kiwi. It was great with the skin on. And they were perfect every single time. Start Archer or João Pedro? João Pedro, I think. Andre. With Chilwell, Saliba, Estepinian, Baldock, Kabori in defence, and Saka and Burma March. Should I transfer March to Son, Baldock to Udogi, Share -4? You don't need to take a -4, I don't think, for the defence. I would just do March to Son if you want to do that. Jackson, Eze to Son, Morris for a -4. Probably not. Saka to Son, no hit. Probably not. Or Eze to Madison, no hit. Probably Eze to Madison, but I don't think you necessarily need to do any of them. You could just roll. Yeah, I'd probably just roll. In your case. Is Eze to Mbermo worth it this week? Probably not. I mean, Burma's great. I do prefer him to Eze, but this week it's probably not much in it. I have a midfield of Saka, Fernandes, Rashford, and Burma and Madison with 2.5 in the bank. Would you bring Son in for who? Probably not. Not for any of them. Andre member for 12 months. How much risk for Estepinian to miss because of the late return? I mean, the fact that De Zerbi mentioned it means there is some risk, but he's a bit of a machine. So I'm not completely convinced that he's going to get benched. There was something, hang on. Let me see. I think Joe posted something on Twitter earlier from the Argus. What did he say about Estepinian? Hang on. Yeah, so this is like an embargoed quote. So, to a suggestion there was a lack of cover. So basically a journalist suggested there's a lack of cover at left back. De Zerbi said, no, we have substitutions. We have James Milner, Tariq Lamptey, Pascal Gross and Igor. Okay, Igor is a centre back, but he can play and he played in the past in that position. Maybe a different way, different style, but he can if we need him in that position. Yeah. So, if Purvis travelled 12 hours and he played 180 minutes in the last week, we have to consider it. There you go. So it does sound like he's going to consider. Does sound like he's going to consider not starting Estepinian. I wouldn't worry though unless you've got absolutely no bench, because it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest fixture anyway, right? I've not seen any Liverpool news, to be honest. Might get it from like Spy on Cop, possibly. Do do do. Keep Salah or get Son. I'd probably just keep Salah. Is Son on pens? We don't know, but I think the majority think he probably will be. But it could be Maddison. Like, Maddison is the kind of player that would want to step up and take him, I think. Foden or Sterling to Son? Probably Foden for me. Matthias, sell Saka, Rashford and Burma or Diaby for Son. I guess out of those, Diaby, but you don't need to do it. Thinking about Estepinian to Udogi for a Henry Udogi rotation going forward. I also have Chill Out and keep Kanji. Yeah. I mean, it's okay, but I think Estepinian next week looks pretty good. Depends who else you've got, really. That could work out. Brentford got 2 nice fixtures after this week. Yeah, I can't see any Liverpool team news. Nothing that I would like necessarily trust or anything. Anana to Edison or James Trafford as Burnley double game week goalkeeper. Turner is second keeper and have 1.3 in the bank. Yeah, but do you really want to play Burnley goalkeeper for the next couple of weeks? I mean, if Turner plays, you're okay. But honestly, I would just hold Anana. Don't think you need to sell him. I guess if you're going to sell him, probably Edison. Depends when you're going to wildcard, though. Sell Saka, Bruno, or Rashford to Son or roll. I'd probably roll. Watkins to Jackson, Sterling to Son for -4. No, probably not. For -4, I don't think so. Thoughts on Jesus? I think he's a good option, but I don't think now is the right time to be buying Arsenal attackers, really. Watkins to Archer, then Matoma to Son, wildcard gaming 8-9 to get Villa back in. It sounds okay. Have a big green arrow. Last question, play Turner or Anana? I'd play Turner. Thank you, Victor. A point to remember, all birds... This is always... I'm already laughing. A point to remember, all birds find shelter from the rain, but the eagles fly higher above the clouds. Okay, I'm going to remember that. Thank you very much. I'm not going to remember that. I mean, I may have already forgotten about it, actually. I'm not sure I could repeat that back without just reading it again. Go for Brighton assets, they play Man United. Do you know what? It's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy. But I think Man United will score. Bill, there's lots of us who are noobs. Could you do a noobs video covering rules about value changes, wildcard, free hits, etc., and general principles to maximize the benefits of those? The thing is, like, one, that video just won't do very well. It won't be watched that much. But also, there's there is a simple game, but there's quite a bit of nuance. And I just find like evergreen content doesn't really work for FPL. I can give you a bunch of stuff about when you could think about using a free hit or a wildcard, but like when to use it this week could easily change. Like I'm saying game week 10 right now, but it might come to the point where I actually don't think game week 10 is very good. And I can't make a video in advance knowing that, right? Like free hit. I mean, when should you use it? You should use it in the week that maximizes the points the most. When is that week? I don't know yet. So you can, it's very hard to do videos about that. You can do them on the rules and stuff, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe a short video at some point. Like a shorts video, not a short video. Play the game and you'll pick it up, yeah? Yeah. You could release that info as part of a newsletter. I've not done the newsletter for the last 2 weeks, so I think I'm giving up on that. For now. Luis Diaz bench for Jackson or Estepinian. I guess you play... Would Diaz start? Don't know about that. But I wouldn't bench Jackson. That's for sure. I'm not wearing shorts, no. Getting a bit cold now. Am I playing Champions League Fantasy? No plans to. I'm definitely not making videos on it, I don't think. The thing is, if you make one video, I'd almost be okay doing like a first game week 1 or match day 1 team selection video for Champions League. But once I do that, people are going to expect one every week, and I just don't. I'm just not that interested in it. No Alvarez. No, I've got Jackson. As many yellow cards. 3 times as many yellow cards as goals. Estepinian effective ownership won't be as high as his ownership still high, but still high enough to hurt if he gets a return. Start him or Archer. I think I'll be tempted to start Archer, honestly. Ansu Fati impact. I actually don't know. We'll find out soon enough. We'll find out this week. No one talking about Davern. 4.5 million plays 90 minutes. I think some people are just worried that Lewis Hall might come in at some point. But he looks pretty good right now. I don't know if I'd buy him over Botman, though. Botman's like absolutely nailed when fit. Start Estepinian or Henry. Estepinian, I think. Foden for Maddison or Son for Rashford. Probably Foden for Maddison. Who's my captain in Sky? Haaland, I guess. I've got transfers to make this week in Sky, but luckily I don't have to worry about it till Monday, probably. Sunday or Monday. I think I'm buying Jordan Bayer in Sky. Now you got me worried that I haven't set my Sky captains. Let me have a look. I'm pretty sure it's Haaland and Haaland against West Ham and Jackson for one of the teams, and then Haaland and Thiago Silva in the other one. I do have Salah as well. Besides Trippier, what's the best defender to get in? I'll probably just get Share in that case. Would you do Foden to Maddison or save a transfer? I think I'd probably save. Oh. That's very weird. Why is the camera frozen? Can you hear me still? You should be able to hear me, right? Hang on, I'm gonna fix that. I don't know if I can fix it actually. You can hear. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fix that. Genuinely. Let me just delete that. Ah, this has worked out very well, hasn't it? I don't think I can fix this. I honestly don't think there's a way to fix it. It's probably, it must have crashed. Yeah, I don't. I don't think there's a way to fix this without shutting the program down. And if I shut the program down, oh, it's amazing. I can't fix it without shutting the program down. I don't think. I can't think of another way to do it. Oh, it's amazing. I don't think I can do it. How would I fix that? I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to keep talking. Do you know what? There could be worse poses I'm in. It could be a lot worse. Bit annoying that. That's a bit annoying. How about if I do this video capture second webcam? I don't think this will work, but let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're back. We're back. I need to fix it. You ain't got anything dodgy behind me, you know? Let me do Chromagate. Oh my god. That was good for a while then. Something like that. That'll do for now. I'll fix the other one. There we go. Fix my... Oh, hang on. Right. There we go. Now it's fixed. Now it's fixed. Oh my god. I did tell you to start watching someone else just a minute ago. The echo's gone now. Relax. The echo's gone. As a video production company, I feel your pain. Yeah, this ain't like Sky or the BBC. I can't just say to someone in my ear, "Can you just fix this?" Yeah, I didn't mute the webcam. Anyway, I'm glad I've already made my transfer because that would have been a nightmare had I not. Like sitting here trying to fix that. Whoop! Oh my god! I'm making a mess of everything. I'm trying to take a screenshot. Let me just take a screenshot of this before the deadline. Okay. I think we're back. Raring to go. As you can tell by my voice. Absolutely raring to go. Turner or Pope? Ooh. Do you know what? In that case, I might go Pope. Bruno or Mbermo? Bruno. Matoma to Madison? Yeah, I think that's an okay move. Curious to know how you split your work hours through the week. Do you have a steady schedule you stick to like all us normies? I mean, ish, I guess, yeah. But ultimately, like, if there's something that needs to be done, I just do it. I'm not very good at like completely switching off at all. Really, I feel like I'm kind of in some way always working a lot. I think we've covered everything. I could just leave early. Gusto or Estupinian? Gusto. At least you didn't go over the deadline. Hell no. Can't wait for Son to blank. Me neither. I never said it was a problem. By the way, I just said that's how it feels. Just don't make the video, then don't moan about the guy suggesting it. I'm not sure what you're on about. To be honest. Just woke up after the night shift. Any news on City? Nope. No news. I think Foden will start. Gvardiol, I don't know. Made my transfer last night because I expected to be up way past the deadline. You're up already. Nightmare. Should I go with Darwin or is he a huge risk? If you don't own Darwin, there's no way I'd bring him in. Not right now. Sail, my dad was doing his FPL transfers and I was using his trimmer. Meanwhile, sneakily, he caught me. Why can't daughters use their dad's trimmers? Who knows? I don't know. What a weird FPL question that is. Salah to Son and Awani to Osula and Bulldog to Doggy from -8. I gotta be honest, that sounds awful. That sounds awful. -8. Now you have an echo. Nope. Not unless you're watching a while back. Start Eze or João Pedro versus the worst defence in the league. Oh, I see what you've done there. Very good, very good. I'd probably start Eze, but go for João Pedro. I seriously can't decide between Son and Haaland captain. There is part. There's part of me that just thinks I should just go for Son because it's just a little bit different, isn't it? You're not going to get many. You're not going to get many opportunities to go against Haaland, but I don't know. Don't make me think about this so late now. No, I don't. I don't know. Thing is, if he smashes it, I'm happy anyway. I mean, I'd be happier, I guess, if he smashed it as my captain. Could try it on. No, I think I'm going Haaland. I don't want to think about this now. Even though it probably should be Son. I mean, it's one of those that afterwards you go, well, yeah, of course West Ham are going to line up in a low block, and they're better than Sheffield United, so it's no surprise that Son has smashed Haaland. If he's if he's listing an early echo, he won't hear your reply until now. I know. Great, isn't it? It's great. It's a shame we'll need to wait until Monday to have Turner's clean sheet. And we'll also know that Pickford is blanked by them. Would you be benching Luis Diaz if you owned? I don't... I'm not sure if he is going to start, to be honest. I guess it depends who else I own. I don't like benching players like that, but there is a chance he's benched. Doom, 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 bam, bam, bam. Does Jota start? I don't know. I don't know. I presume he probably will, but I genuinely have no idea. I specifically said the video could be general principles. Yeah, I don't like making videos like that. General principles about a wild card. Like there's no general principles in FPL. I mean, general principle, don't take a player out after you just brought him in. What have I just done? I've just done Sterling to Son. Start one of Nana or Turner. Only one transfer. Luis Diaz for Maddison or Roll. I quite like that move, yeah. Foden or Maddison and Alvarez. Foden or Maddison and Alvarez for Anderson Watkins. I'll go Maddison and Alvarez for sure. In my best Palpatine impression for Son captain, do it. Do it. Yeah, make sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream. And subscribe, because why not? Yeah, I mean, Son captain, like... I don't know. I'll probably regret it. Maybe I'll regret it. I can't bring it to myself, honestly. Last year was an absolute nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. No, I don't... Everyone's thinking there's going to be a late switch. I don't think so. Can you explain your Jackson pick? Yeah, I got him 2 weeks ago for Watkins, and there's no reason to take him out. Basically. I'm plus 1 point on that transfer, but I'm minus 3 on Martinelli to Sterling. Sterling out against Bournemouth goes against everything you say about fixtures. This is another Rafinha moment. I mean, I can't remember all the things that went into that Rafinha move. I think it was probably slightly different to this one. But sure, yeah, don't take out Sterling. Like I've said, he's a great option. Charity bet Son versus Haaland. Nah, because I think it's... I don't think that Haaland is necessarily better than Son. Whereas I do think Mbeumo is better than Foden. Jackson's terrible though. Yeah, don't buy him. Absolutely don't buy him. Rami, Gakpo, Jackson or Fulham striker for a punt? Jackson, probably. I mean, presumably Jimenez will start again, but I think we'll just go Jackson out of those three. Just Captain Son, you will win FPL. Look, yeah, if it goes horribly wrong, if Son goes mad, the thing is, I think I'll just be happy even if Son does great and I don't captain him. That's kind of my thinking. Why am I still on Jackson? I just don't think it's worth using a transfer to sell him, really. That's all. I mean, I've got a spare transfer. I could sell him, but he's got Bournemouth away. Like, why would you sell anyone before Bournemouth away? That would make no sense whatsoever. It would make no sense. So, yeah. Chase the upside with Son. Yeah. I mean, look, if you've got Son and you want to captain him, you should definitely captain him. By the way, Rami, 23 months, thank you very much. Cameron, thank you very much. I won't put any more super chats in now because last couple of minutes, who knows Why would you do that? Yeah, you wouldn't do that. Why would you if you sell... You're an idiot if you sell someone before Bournemouth away. It makes no sense. So I'm keeping Jackson. Who's bench Foden or in Burmo? I can't bench penalty takers. Any leaks on who's benched? I've not seen any leaks. No. I don't want to captain Son now because people will just say, "Oh, you just waited until the last minute to do it." I'm just going to stick with what I was thinking anyway, which is Haaland. I said at the start of the stream, like sometimes I'm like really in between two captains, but I've kind of just settled on Haaland, and I'm kind of okay with it. I'm just going to double check though. There we go. No, I don't think I'm going to change. You got 45 seconds to change the Son captain, by the way. I could do it. Could do it right now. Could change the Son captain. I'll just stick with Haaland. Now I'm worried I've really messed up. I've already taken the screenshot, so that's fine. Turner, Rashford, Son, Vice. I don't think we're locked in yet. Yeah, we're not locked in yet. You might be locked in. Do I ever go to hurling matches? Nope. I've never been to one hurling match. Got rid of Jackson to fund Son. Daniel, 25 months, thank you very much. Good luck with that move. I mean, I hope it kind of... I don't know if I want it to work out, really. I've got Son, but I've also got Jackson, so it's hard to know, really. Can't believe you bought in Son and didn't captain him. I know. I'm that boring. I'm that boring. After all this, Son will score the same as Haaland. Yeah, probably. That's usually what happens. There we go. Happy days. You knew from this morning you were going to captain Son. I love the fact you've put that in capital letters, and yet I've literally got Haaland on the screen. Captain. Alright. I'm going to go and take some Lemsip or something. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit 400k by some point in the future. So yeah, thanks for joining me. We go again next week, probably selling it. Well, actually, no, next week I might finally have to sell a player that makes sense. Because 3 weeks so far hasn't made sense. Looking forward to your tweets later. The absolute regret is coming. You work for Supermax. You could get me a hurling ticket. I'm probably all right, thanks though. I'll take some free chicken tenders though. Doing the No Haaland challenge this season on 274. Very nice. Very nice. That's something I'd like to do if I didn't make videos. And people will say, well, you can just make videos anyway. But you can't, you can't. Actually, I probably wouldn't do No Haaland challenge. That just sounds excruciating. Hoping that Udogi doesn't score an own goal. I'm hoping that too, yeah. 400k is wild. 5 times full stadium at Wembley. Yeah, let's do it. The 3 p.m. games are going to be very good, and Man United's on TV, so that's good too. I haven't seen anything about Liverpool now, which is a bit surprising. Ever thought about having a guest on for the deadline stream so you can have a debate on transfers? I have absolutely thought about that. I've actually thought of something that I think would be quite good, but I don't want to say it because then other people will do it. The only thing that I worry about is the super chats, because obviously if people pay money, they expect to have their question answered. And if I've got a guest on, I don't want to have to keep stopping. This is basically the reason I haven't done it yet. I don't want to keep stopping to answer super chats, but I also don't want to get to a point after half an hour where I have to go for a bunch of questions that are already there. So, I mean, I could just turn them off completely, I guess. But obviously they are helpful, right? And I do appreciate them. So, yeah. Yeah. I did have an idea like a year or two ago for it to a way to kind of change the deadline stream a little bit. I don't know. It's just a whole added extra bit of stuff to think about as well. So I don't know. Anyway, I've thought about it at least. Don't know if I'll ever do it. We'll see. I think plus there's always a part of me that thinks don't break something. Don't try and fix what's not broken, or whatever the saying is. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Enjoy your weekend. Let's hope that Son and Haaland score 20 points each. And yeah, I'll catch you again tomorrow. See you then.